Greetings from Subetha Software Galactic Headquarters. This is Alan, and I thought it was time for a quick update on the SirSound project. SirSound is a music device that will plug into the Color Computer's serial port on the back, and here's the prototype. On this little breadboard is an Arduino Nano chip. You can buy those for about $4. It's actually the whole little computer. Behind that is a Texas Instruments sound chip hooked up with all these little jumper wires. I have a little serial adapter on one side. Those cost less than $1. And then a little thing that lets me plug in the earphone plug on the other side. This prototype is hooked up to my color computer. The cable runs around and goes to the bitbanger port. The audio out connector goes to the speakers that are sitting on top of it right now. I've got some special software to show you, so let's take a look at that. Alright, let's explain how this works. I'm using BASIC to send data out the serial port. There's nothing in BASIC to do that besides commands for the printer. If you try to print and there's no printer hooked up, BASIC will hang waiting for the printer to be ready. So I have a little program here that does a couple of pokes in line 50 that make the printer look like it's always ready even when there's no printer there. So that means I can now print things or send things out that printer port without anything needing to be there. Line 60 is just a poke to set the baud rate to 1200. Now SirSound works by acting like the play command. In Extended BASIC you can say play quote C, D, E, F, G, A, B and hear music. And with SirSound you would just say print number -2 C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And there you go. It's just that easy. So now you know how to use it. Two things there. First off, you'll notice that the OK prompt came back immediately. That's because, unlike play, which sits there until the music is done, as soon as I send data to SirSound, it can start playing, and then I can do other things. Okay, whoops, it's going to clear the screen to a color. SirSound runs in the background, which means you can now have background music in your basic program without doing anything other than sending commands out to SirSound from time to time to give it more data to play. Another thing you might have noticed is the note didn't just make a tone like this, it kind of decays like a bell. Okay, let's do the other one. How about that? That's because I've got a slight decay routine in SirSound currently, but I hope to make it work like the old Casio keyboards where you had attack, delay, sustain, release, so you'll be able to customize how the individual sounds act rather than just solid tones. Another thing is you can take and convert music. Here's the When the Saints Go Marching In program from the BASIC manual. It's a real simple tune here. Here's what it sounds like on the color computer. Okay, enough of that. And if you want to convert this kind of music to work on SirSound, you just change the word play to be print number -2, and I'm going to make this end on line 11, so we're only listening to one line. And now if I run that, it'll send the same data to SirSound. And there you go. So that's how easy it is to send music out the serial port and make SirSound play it. SirSound is using a chip that can do 3 different notes at a time and also kind of a noise track you could use for drums. So I'm going to be extending the format of the play command that SirSound uses to handle the multiple voices. It's also going to have the capability of using that printer ready detection for knowing if music is still playing so you know when it's time to send more data. I'm also going to add some ways to do some simple sequencing. You can already kind of do that in BASIC. For instance, in BASIC, you can do something like A string equals, and then give it music. And then you can say play, X to execute that string, A string, and it does this. So you can actually go execute A string, execute, whoops, helps if I tell it the string, XA string, and it'll play that 3 times. Now obviously something hooked up to the printer port is not going to have access to basic variables, so I'm going to add ways for you to create a named sequence and send it down. So instead of a sequence playing a string, it might be a sequence you send to SirSound called A. Then when you give it the command execute A like that, it will play the thing that's already been loaded into memory. So you'll be able to do complete sequences of songs by sending very little data if you choose to set up your play commands ahead of time. So there's a lot of things like that. Currently, the software supports all the basic things. You can do octaves, so I can go through all different octaves. So that's from octave 1 to octave 5. You have different speeds, so I can set the tempo to 8 and go C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And I can set the tempo, boy that was really loud here, tempo to 16 and go C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And there you go. So you've got tempo, octaves, you've got pauses. I did have to hide a extra thing in there to reset it back to defaults. It does not know if you've reset the computer. When you start up BASIC or type run, the sound all sets back to defaults, octave 2 in a certain tempo. So now if I send it a Z, I just use that for now, the note will be back to the starting tones. So there you go. That's a little bit about how SirSound is going to work. It's a proof of concept. I just plugged all this in for the first time tonight. Thought I'd make the video and share. And I'll keep you updated. Keep watching the Subetha Software website and the Facebook page. Until next time, see ya.